Hello and welcome to this week's episode of House of Tremere, episode 7. Hello and welcome to what will be, I'm sure, another entertaining session of chaos and misery for my dear players. I think with that, we can jump right into some introductions. This week, why don't we start with Zach? Why don't you give us your introduction? Oh, that's right. You gotta do that again for me, please. That should be
Okay,
working
all
now.
right.
Do the
Should be
whole thing
working
over.
now. All
Zach, why
right.
don't you give us your introduction again?
Yes. Hello. I have just arrived, and I am Zach, and I'm playing Hasib, the perpetual student, super optimistic, always with a smile. Here to help out the crew because we're all one big family, right? Right. And he's had a lot of big revelations come up here, and I have them all written down, and I have all of his struggles, and he I guess he's not super happy right now, but he's gonna deal, hopefully. But that is Hasib at the current time.
Very nice. Up next, Ree, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hi everyone, I'm Ree. I play Maruna. And she ended the last episode having a hard conversation. So this is gonna be a great day, I'm sure. As is every day in the House of Tremere. Uh yeah, excited to get started.
Very nice. Up next, Emily, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hi, I'm Emily. I play Kess. I almost said Beatrice. Oof, I'm sleepy. I play Kess, who is holding it together so well. Totally fine. Totally holding it together and sharing relevant information that should be shared.
Very nice. After all, the clan of Tremere has no secrets, at least
Oh, of course not.
among each other. Usually.
Sure.
Up
Totally.
next, um, Bob, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hey everyone, Bob here playing Jordy, super friendly middle manager of the Elysium, or not Elysium, of the Chantry rather, and the region of the Chantry, who's totally prepared to be very equipped to lead people and stuff. And I think I ended the last episode throwing something at the wall, if I remember. Yeah.
I believe that's correct. And I'm sure we'll have more of that going forward. And last, but certainly not least, why doesn't our dear Doctor Cyberbro give us his introduction?
Good evening. I am Cyberbro, and I'll be playing Dr. Quango. And I have one question for the audience. Have you taken your vitamins?
It's a very important question. Gotta get those vitamins. Otherwise, how are you gonna get the necessary energy needed to push that lovely blood around your body? I mean, it's what's needed, right? And with that, hello, I am Mark, aka the CatsMeow. This is my channel, and this is where I run fun TTRPG games with all my lovely friends, both new and old, and I am excited for more uh difficulties for the clan of Tremere, who may or may not deserve it, depending on your opinions on their history. But nonetheless, I hope you stick around to enjoy more of this lovely tale. What else? What else? What else? Why don't we start off with something that I generally forget, a recap Who would like to lead this week's recap? Is there going to be a
All right.
volunteer? Someone going to be voluntold?
Cyber Bro will do it. Okay, so in last week's game, we were kind of two separate parties there. So, from the perspective of Dr. Quangle in DiGiorno, our regent, so from that perspective, we were inside the library doing research, and Hasib's sire came. I don't remember her name, unfortunately. The player, I'm sure Quangle would, but the player doesn't remember her name. But she came, and so we had a brief conversation there, talking about how the pyramid has crumbled and just being mysterious as always. At the same time, the others were still out, so they hadn't returned yet, if I'm not mistaken. My memory is bad, and I should not have volunteered. But if someone wants to, can I get a lifeline here for what you guys were doing while you were out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were exploring the cults. I mean, coven. The moon, which Kess loved. And Marina needed to get a book from them, and she got the book after almost taking part in a ritual of some kind. And then having her mind invaded by the moon mother, whoever that is. But then she got a bad feeling, and she listens to her intuition. She doesn't necessarily listen to common sense, but she does listen to her intuition. So they got out of there.
Yeah, the Moon Mother and the dreaded Cloud Father.
Yes.
I believe from there, you all returned back to the chantry and met up and had a few discussions. Don't quite remember what about, but I believe it was something to do with rituals or the end of everything, something like that. And then there were a few conversations at the end between Maruna and Kess separately, and Philomena, who is the other Tremere ancile that is still within the city, as it would seem. But she did talk about the possibility of her leaving the city to attempt to find out what has happened to the rest of the clan Tremere.
And Kess also burned a part of my carpet. That's of great
Yeah.
importance.
That would, yeah. You asked me to put the cigarette out, and there was not an ashtray. It was the carpet of the table.
That's true.
You chose this path. You chose this path.
You chose. Yeah.
Philomena also deeply insulted both Kess and Maruna during those conversations.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
It was just a shot to the heart. Shot to the heart. Good job, Philomena.
Yep. Came
Good
in,
job.
decimated everyone, walked out.
Yeah,
Exactly,
Isn't my
that's what she
sire
stood
the
for.
best, guys?
Exactly.
Real people person. Your sire.
You can see why Hasib turned out so well.
Absolutely. All right then. I think with that, we can jump right in with a slight intro. Hopefully this is working. Now the question is, can our audience hear this? Turn it a little bit just in case. I'm gonna put it here. Blah, 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 blah. No, I can't actually. House of Tremere, Episode 8. We begin as we focus in on the Tremere chantry itself. A familiar radio that sits within a lounge room splutters to life once more as it begins to reveal what is a low hum that sounds like warm vinyl crackle before a familiar voice fades in, mellow and reflective. It's Sunday night, New Angleham, and the city feels like it's holding its breath. Church bells have long stopped ringing, the streets are mostly empty, and somewhere behind all that quiet, something's still wide awake. You ever get that feeling like something slipped out of your grip? You don't even know what it was? Like you're chasing meaning in a place that forgot how to give it. Well, that's Sunday for you. And this one's hitting you especially heavy. Coming up, we got a track from back in 91. But it never really left, did it? All tangled up, longing and awkward confession wrapped in a jangly southern riff. You know it. You felt it. This is REM's Losing My Religion. Turn the lights low and let it pour in. The iconic riff, mournful and steady, flows in as the night deepens. We watch as the sun sets over the House of Tremere, and its denizens awaken. With that, who has things they would like to do? For one, there are two current things that I can think of. One is attending the Tremere night meeting, which is what is done, or has been done for the past nights. You could also do something completely different and decide to not show up to the roll call. Yes, Kess?
I would like to leave.
All right.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
You know what this triggers?
I, as a person, don't miss attendance. This is very stressful.
Marina would definitely attend since she already missed one this morning.
Man.
Wangle would attend because he has to do roll call, but as he's getting dressed for the evening, he would summon the ghouls by name rather than what article of clothing they're wearing. I would assume that was one of their complaints. Like, I'm George. Why do you keep calling me loafers? So he's like, okay, well, they're not bound to us anymore, so I'm going to call them by their names now.
All right. Why don't you roll me intelligence, difficulty 6? Actually, no, this will be difficulty 7, we'll say.
Roll dice. Intelligence. Submit. Would it be academics or anything like that, or like?
Not in this case, this is just straight intelligence.
Okay.
It's your ability to remember.
So in that case, when it gives me the options from the macro to do this, it has an ability straight into ability. How do I not select one of those, or should I roll from somewhere else?
I believe there might be one that's none. Is there an option that's none in there?
Uh, I'm not seeing none. Could be politics, maybe. Well,
You can put
but
politics.
no,
I'll
I'm
allow
not thinking.
politics.
Okay. Submit. No modifier. No wounds. Difficulty 7. Submit. Submit. No willpower. Public. Mm, Submit.
Ooh.
Eee.
I think mostly what you realize is that you haven't had to remember their names before. They were just kind of, well, as you said, they were named by their roles. Uh, so you find yourself actively forgetting the names of these people that serve you. Uh, so what would Dr. Quangle do in that case, as he is unaware of their names?
I think Quang would pause there for a second, sigh, loafers, gloves, jacket, just fold back into that,
Mm,
but make a point at the end to say, okay, gentlemen, your names, I need your names. I obviously, please give me your names so I can stop calling you loafers, gloves, and jacket.
they kind of nod
So
and
he
they
would,
give you their names.
okay.
They do look a little confused, but nonetheless, they acquiesce.
Uh, awesome.
In Hasib, I think I told you this before, Mark, but if Hasib notices, since he wakes up pretty early, if he notices Kess slipping out, he is going to attempt to follow.
Okay.
But I don't know how what's the chances of him noticing? It's not like he's standing right outside Kess's door all the time.
Well, Cass, why don't you make me a dexterity stealth and
Okay.
stealth? Out of curiosity, are you using any special abilities?
I don't have the one that's high enough to do it.
Alright.
Had I spent XP before this, I may have had that, but I don't now. Alright.
Right then. And from
You
you,
said
Hasib, I need a uh, perception and alertness. Both of them are standard diff. So if
okay.
you have anything that would lower that or raise it, let me know.
Perception alertness, huh? I do have aspects 1, 2.
5 successes.
Woohoo! So you can lower it by difficulty to 5.
Got it.
That's so many 6s. That's
Wow.
amazing.
Wow. All right. uh. Hmm.
Why
I'm gonna
did
say
he
in this
roll again?
case, defender wins. Cass is able to sneak out without being noticed.
All right. In that case, Hasib goes to the meeting. Roll call.
All right then. Who all shows up to roll call?
Me.
If it's not obvious, then
Yeah.
Jordy will be there.
And Maruna?
Yep, she'll be there.
All right then. In that case, all of you arrive to roll call, except Cass, who is nowhere to be seen.
About the quartermaster, is he here too?
He's here.
Yeah.
Oh, let's actually play some music.
I think as we're sitting there for roll call, Quangle will remember, oh, this is my job now. It appears that Kess is missing, but we have everyone else accounted for, Regent.
Has anyone seen Mr. Price?
Yes. I asked him to go and grab something for me. I didn't want to miss another meeting, since I missed this morning's.
He's here in the chantry then.
I'm not sure if he was able to find it in the chantry or if he had to step out.
Hasib, please remind me what the rule was around exiting the chantry alone.
Hasib whips out his notebook and flips a few pages. Ah, yes. It was stated that when we are to travel outside of the chantry, to move in at least pairs for safety precautions.
Perhaps he's
Does,
inside.
does anyone here struggle to understand this?
No, however, I would ask what, in terms of priorities, we have many rules that we must follow. It's important to be in attendance for our daily meetings, of course. We have other obligations that we must attend to, and we have other things that we need to accomplish those obligations. And we must abide by the rules of remaining in pairs if we are to go out and acquire what we need to maintain our other obligations to the chantry. So, which rule is most important in order of importance?
It's pretty straightforward, if you ask me. It doesn't take much to request the aid of one of the chantry to join you. At the very least, there are ghouls here. Going alone seems to be a blatant disregard for our structure. Are we going to abandon the structure? Are we still Tremere?
Yes, that depends on how you define Tremere.
He looks really upset. He says, were you going to say something? Sorry.
Nope.
Yeah. Sorry. I was going to say something. Dear Regent, please allow me in my capacity as whip to get to the bottom of this situation and ensure that it does not happen again.
Very good. That seems to satisfy him.
Quango gives Maruna a look like, you're welcome.
She nods to him.
On that note, I'm going to declare that any secrets kept against the Tremere is violence against the Tremere. We are in wartime.
Does that
we lose our
include
structure.
Does that include all of us, Regent?
It does.
Then I agree.
The order of the pyramid must remain, even when the pyramid has fallen. But it doesn't mean that we can't learn, that we can't progress. There are things that have helped us, and there are things that perhaps haven't. Keeping secrets is why we are here now, without enough information to do anything about it. We have Philomena, who's volunteered to go and discover what she can about whatever is happening in areas beyond here, at the very least. So, while we're here in New Angelheim and bound to this place full of fleeing gargoyles and Assamites, what should we prioritize? We've begun our investigations into the blood. I'm not sure it's gotten us anywhere in particular. Dr. Quengle, do you have any thoughts on next steps in our experiments?
I believe, in light of your decree of no secrets, individual interviews should be conducted with every member of the chantry to give an opportunity to give me more data. Without data, I cannot recommend a cure or some way to inoculate ourselves versus against what is taking place. So, I'm always available. Please come to me. And when you do, I will listen and I will hold up my Hippocratic oath. Uphold. Yes.
To support this, anyone who is withholding information that is vital will have 3 days of relief to come clean to Dr. Quengle, our whip. Failure to do so will continue on to the thought of violence against the clan.
Oh, Seb raises a finger. And I believe I have read about the position of magister, which is what I am. Should I be an intermediary for any kinds of discussions? If it we don't want anything, getting hostile. If these secrets are, um, well, prone to become so, having someone there as a in between. A little bit of diplomacy and discussion. Perhaps I could fulfill the role.
He shrugs. Very well, Mr. Kavisna.
Before you give your ruling on that, that will go against my oath of doctor patient confidentiality. Obviously, we don't want to keep secrets, but there are sensitive topics that individuals will speak on. And dear Hasib here literally writes down these things in a notebook he carries around. I've seen him lose that thing.
Hasib looks up from his notebook as he was taking notes. Oh, well, I don't lose it all the time, but you're right. If the conversation needs to be private and we aren't going to start throwing, punching each other, then I can step out. I see no issue with that.
Yes, I believe it should be up to the patient in this three-party arrangement to decide if they would like dear Hasib to be there.
At
I
the very
agree.
least, as Magister, I would recommend that the Magister sit outside the room and observe in case such things result into escalation.
Mm. Yeah.
Hasib nods with a smile, and then he kind of realizes something. Yes, if it escalates, I will de-escalate somehow. Uh, yes, that seems appropriate.
Very well. I'm sure we have a number of priorities to look after. Should we discuss them?
Me. Hasib again speaks. I am start. It is early in the night, but I have started looking into the unlocking of the chest, the regent's chest. and I am making progress, but not there just yet.
Excellent. We're going to make sure that you prioritize that.
Of course, Regent.
That could have the information that we're lacking from the Regent, or at least clues into what exactly is taking place, what they know about.
Definitely. And I'm not sure if we are putting it as a secondary objective, but the escaped gargoyle who ransacked the regent's office may have information as well.
Indeed.
On the subject of gargoyles, I believe we have enough means and knowledge to divine where the gargoyle is. We have multiple methods available to us, and it's without Kess here, we are limited. However, dear Maruna was going to help with that process.
Yes.
I think that should be our first priority: containing the beast. He makes the hand gesture, containing.
So you see a bit of a light bulb go off in Jordy's head here, and he says, since Mr. Price is absent, I feel it's worth raising this even more so. Do we feel that as residents of this chantry, it's appropriate to simply have the Tremere known as Caius, the cause and origin of this thing, demand that we look after such a solution? He is the executioner. That would suggest some ability to deal with threats. And yet he has absently pushed that off on all of us, as if we don't have something better to do, like solve the rest of what's taking place. And yet he's not present. What is he doing? I believe he either needs to come here and join us, or he can't be trusted, and we need to find out what exactly he's up to.
Maruna kind of smiles at this. I think that that's wise, Regent.
I want to ensure we all are aware of what's at stake here. In the event that we do not, for lack of a better phrase, comply with the request of the executioner, other political issues may arise within the clan, our chantry here. He was very clear that there will be a discussion on positions, namely the position of regent, should this request not be fulfilled. I am ever a supporter of good order and discipline. However, I just want to make sure we're all aware of what the things that we're saying mean.
Forgive my ignorance as a newer member of this clan, but Jordy is regent, is he not? What authority does Caius have
Yes.
here?
Authority rests with those who can exercise it. So, I'll say this plainly now because I have to. If you're going to not do his request, complete it, then you should be the one to tell him and then deal with things that will come afterwards. If it comes down to that. So,
I would propose that we stand as a united front on this matter. The ability to execute authority, as you said, is where the authority comes from, and there's power in numbers, and this is something that I believe that we can all agree on.
If that's not too difficult for you, Dr. Quangle.
No, not at all. I just want to make sure we're all aware of what we're saying.
I concur with Maruna. I think we we must have order in this time of chaos. And if Caius does not, like, really, he should have been put back into the fold here as we are stronger in numbers. But um, if he decides that he does not wish to follow the order of what has been instated here, even if it is temporary, we must keep order. So, what, Regent, what would this make Caius if he does not comply with the structure here?
He's been afforded rights by the previous regent as executioner. If he's unwilling to work with the chantry, I would say that it, at the very least, makes him no longer the executioner, and no longer someone with status within our clan in the city. And then he can be the free agent he wishes to be.
You said this before. We are in a time of war. There are no free agents in a proper war. There are enemies and allies.
It's good to know who is which. And right now, I would hardly call him an ally. What has he done? Showed up and given us a task, something he's responsible for, and then left.
Then you are saying he is an enemy. And if he's an enemy,
I'm saying it's up to him to prove that he is an ally by assisting us.
very well. Your will is clear.
Oh, as he looks around, who is going to make the call to Caius?
Mr. Price when he returns.
Ah, yes.
Well then, we have at least 2 tasks that we discussed. The divination of the escaped one, and our further research. He looks confused for a second. Research into... He pauses. Hasib, your research. Yes.
The chest.
Sorry?
Opening the chest, I believe.
Ah, yes. Right. The chest. It's important. At the very least, it's a high probability of assisting us. Perhaps I'm wrong. If there's no other matters, we can call this meeting to an end.
Quangle will look to Philomena to try and read her expression during this whole interaction, this discussion, this engagement.
Her expression is extremely neutral. She is hard to read. If you would like to pierce past that front, you may make a perception and empathy roll. Difficulty 8.
Perception, submit. Empathy, submit. Modifier. No wounds. I'm not wounded. Okay. Difficulty 8. Okay. Okay.
One success. She is extremely hard to read. From what you can tell, um, her attention, though she tries to hide it, seems to be focused upon Hasib. But other than that, her general emotional state seems to be deadly calm.
Uh, just another mother hen staring at her little chick, little baby chick. Precious.
I think as they get up to kind of go about their duties, Marina would go over to Jordy and say, Regent, when you have a moment, I would like a word with you, if it's not too much trouble.
Of course. He'll step aside.
She'll kind of step aside with him. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I wanted to voice my support for your position on this matter. My strong support. And sometimes there's more insight to be gained from things like this. I feel this is important. I feel it's an important step. And if you would allow me, I would be happy to help you.
Help me with...
We're on a precipice. This conversation with Caius could affect everything, and it's really important. And I know that you're a better leader than Caius would be. I also know that Caius is an elder, and that his entire job is to be intimidating. And I want to ensure that you feel empowered to the fullest extent that you should as regent going into this interaction.
Well, that will require the support of the clan in it, then. Because that's what regents typically have.
Yes.
And right now I have a whip who, at best, tolerates my position.
Perhaps I can give you insight into how to go about resolving it. I seek insight often.
I think there's probably a look on Jordy's face of like he was captivated, but there's an obvious sign of mild disregard at the comment of advice on interaction coming from Marina.
Think she'll, seeing that, I don't claim to hold any particular wisdom myself. I'm simply a vessel for it.
You speak of what you see.
Yes.
And what do you see?
Sometimes I need to look closer, focus. There are a lot of ways of doing that. She'll Is there somewhere? Could we go to your office, perhaps?
That'll do just fine. Yes.
She's gonna go and grab one of her decks of cards. And she's gonna go then meet in the office and she'll sit there and she'll just kind of take a deep breath and say, it's important sometimes not to have too many other distractions. Things can interfere. Everything has its own energy, everything has its own voice. So
I think when it comes to Jordy being the traditionalist he is, as much as he buys into Maruna's power, the cards in and of itself screams like hedge magic, and I think there's just like a looking down from his nose at just the very topic of tarot cards is yeah.
yeah. And she sees that and she's like, again, it's just a medium. Everyone has their preference. Some people, throughout history, people have used sticks, they've used runes. This is just what I prefer. The cards are... And she'll just like
Yes,
kind
I
of...
suppose we all have odd tastes. He tries to empathize.
The way I like to think of it, we all were used to thinking in rigid structures. We're used to thinking in straight lines and numbers. And that's good sometimes. But sometimes it's distracting. Sometimes it distracts you from the meaning behind it all. And these cards, they tap into another level of understanding. There's a reason that we all, the kind, I suppose, perhaps kindred as well, we relate to stories. We understand them in a way that we can't always describe. And that's what these depict. They help us see past the lines. At least, that's how I feel. And she'll start shuffling them. And
He doesn't say anything. He sits quietly. With his
she'll,
hands forward. You will note that there's like broken pieces of a statue or something on the ground.
Yeah, she'll kind of. And she'll pull a card.
All right.
I
The
don't know if I
first-
should do an insight or anything, but
Yeah,
sorry.
actually, why don't you roll me your perception and occult?
Okay. Difficulty?
Difficulty will be 8. All right.
Depending on if botches count. 2 or 3.
They won't count for this case.
Cool. Then 3.
3 successes. As you focus and you draw your first card. The first card is the 5 of Wands. This one is drawn upright. The 5 of Wands often have the meanings of... Oh, go ahead. Yes, conflict. Conflict, competition, aggression, rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
The next
She'll
card
lay
you
it down.
draw is the Devil.
Control.
And why don't you draw the last card for us using an actual deck, if you have yours ready?
Yes, I do. high priestess.
The
I can't make this shit up.
Priestess. Yeah.
That's so perfect. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Ooh, fun. All right then. So, as you look down at the cards and you try and draw their meaning, for a moment it escapes you. You understand what they mean separately, but what meaning is being conveyed by all of them. With that, you look up to look towards Jordy. Except, Jordy isn't there. Instead, a different figure stands in his place. A man with short, dark hair and steely blue eyes. He looks at you, or perhaps more correctly through you, as you watch as he lowers himself onto one knee. Before you can feel a presence behind you, large and looming, casting a grand shadow that almost feels like it tries to consume you. As you turn around, you see it. A horrific monster. Large, sharp teeth extends from a maw that is far too large to be human, extending from lip all the way back to the jawbone. You see blood-red eyes that stare down into you. A hunger within them burns with an inhuman passion for what can only be described as monstrous sadism. You see what looks to be a set of 4 arms that extend from the chest, each tipped with these large, inhuman claws, almost like talons that extend out like knives. It stands at least 7 foot tall, as it towers over you. Its large, fleshy, muscleish, and sinewy exterior. Think of it like skin that has been pulled taut over muscle. As it leans forward and opens its other set of eyes that exist upon its body. On its shoulders, on its chest, even on its back, it is covered in these blood-red, ever-staring eyes as it leans forward and says, "Good. Now then, my little pet, find me what I'm looking for. Find me the seed." With that, we cut to Geordie's perspective. Geordie, you watch as Maruna places down the final card and immediately collapses onto the ground, shaking and seizing as her body just seems to quake and twist. It is an uncomfortable sight, to say the least. What would Geordie do as he sees this?
Have I ever seen a vampire have a seizure?
Nope.
Yeah.
As far as you know, it is not possible.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's just naturally gonna go over to her and do he doesn't have any medicine, never mind. I don't even know if he'd know first aid enough to do anything. So he's just gonna try and like stop her from seizuring by like pinning her down. Like, trying to
Yeah.
stabilize her position. Because she's shaking. I don't know.
Eventually,
while he's doing that, I guess he's observing her too, just to see if it changes or if he needs to call somebody else here.
from what you can see, her eyes are completely white, as if her eyes have rolled up into the back of her head.
Do I have
Eventually,
any
though,
familiarity?
Oh.
Obviously Dr. Quangle, but
Mm.
yeah. Well, hold on. I don't think he does anything. I don't
Alright.
think he calls anyone.
Makes sense. Eventually, she stops. And Maruna, you come to as you feel yourself pinned to the ground to look up to see Geordie is currently holding you at the moment.
It's something. There's something coming. It's the devils. There are devils.
The devils.
I've seen them twice now. I saw them in a dream, and now they want to
Is
see
that
it.
the seed from your plans?
No, the seed. The seed. The It's something else. It's something. I don't know what it is, but I know it's something more. It's whatever's in that book. It's something.
The what book exactly?
The book without a title. The book without a name. The one that no one can read.
Right, the one you came back. Where did you get this book?
No, it's from the library. Hasib found it.
And you know
Yeah.
it's. And he kind of realizes he's like pinning her down. And he says, "You're not going to do anything threatening,
No.
are you?"
No.
Like he'll let go.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I never have. It's
Well, it seems we might have a new first priority. Perhaps we should go find the others and discuss what just happened with you.
yes. I as for you, conflict. Saw conflict and rivalry and control. It's holding you back. The devil, it has two meanings in this case. There's the devils, the literal devils, but there's also the devil card. It has to do with the chains that bind you. And then the high priestess, that's inner wisdom, insight. You're on the right track, I think, to free yourself.
Free myself from.
Whatever's holding you back. Keep listening to the wisdom. Keep thinking outside the lines. And with that, she'll just start heading back towards the others.
Yeah, he'll do the same. Kind of clean up anything. I think he'll have a dustpan briefly, and
Yeah.
you see him cleaning up his own mess, putting back together his office.
As you are cleaning up, there is another knock on your office door as the door opens, and let me see this. The quartermaster steps in. Joey Kebar.
Quartermaster Kabar?
Regent, I just thought I'd let you know we received letters today. He kind of walks in and holds them out.
He's gonna take them and look through, see if they're addressed or anything.
A couple of them are addressed. One of them is addressed to you. The other one is addressed to a Quinton Quangle. Where the quartermaster goes, I'm not sure what the new arrangement is, but the previous regent always required that he see the letters before they're handed out. So, I'll leave that to you.
Did he review the letters first?
He just kind of turns around for a moment and goes, I would assume so. At least what he believed needed to be reviewed. Regent.
Very well. Quartermaster. We have another meeting. Meet in the library in 5 minutes if you can.
Very well. With that, he makes his way out of your office, and you are left alone with the letters.
He has the letters in his hands, and he's. We can end the scene with him looking
right.
at the one addressed to Dr. Quangle.
Okay, we will cut back to that in a moment. But before that, why don't we cut to a different scene to find out what exactly Kess Price has been up to. We cut to outside of a church as we watch as Kess steps into the hallowed grounds. We watch as he walks up to what is a large wooden confessional box. With that, you step inside, the door closes, and you wait. After some time, the confessional door opens. Or you can hear the sound of the confessional door on the other side moving, and then closing, before the sliding panel between the two opens. Alright, with that, he says, you hear a voice, familiar to you, Father Mattia, as he speaks. What is it that bothers you, my child?
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 1 week since my last confession.
Speak your mind freely, my child.
I have manipulated the only person closer to me. I have dashed the hopes of the hopeful around me. I have lied to almost everyone I meet. I have lied and estranged my family. I hurt people.
Why is it that you feel this need to lie, my child?
Because it keeps me safe.
Do you believe that the truth would hurt you?
It always has.
Well,
Do you... Sorry.
Though I must condemn the sin of lying, I do not believe if you are doing it to protect yourself or to protect others, then perhaps it is something that simply must be done. But you cannot forget the weight that it bears.
I don't do it to protect others. I do it to protect myself. To make it easier. I'm not a good person, Father.
I have heard many who have come to my confession and said the same. Do you desire to be a good person?
Yes.
Then if it is something that you truly aspire to, then perhaps you should rethink the situation that you have found yourself in. It is important to be able to reach out to those around you, your family, your compatriots, those who care for you and those that you care for. They say the truth will set you free, but I choose to believe it is far more about being able to find those that you can share your truth with. It is powerful. It is important.
Do you think God will forgive someone like me at the end?
God will forgive all who are willing to accept his forgiveness. But you must be willing to do the work. Though we
What
may
if you
go
don't have...
through harsh times, the love and light of God never goes away. Though he may test us, we must never lose faith in the fact that we are all his children.
What if you run out of time to make amends?
I choose to believe that if there is goodness in your heart, Christ will see it within you, as he saw it within all that he knows and that he hath met. You know, Christ had welcomed those that society had condemned into his heart, because he knows that God's love is for all, not just a select few.
Thank you, Father.
You are quite welcome, my child. Know that, should you ever need aid, the church is always here for one of its own.
You have my number too. You can call me if you all need help.
Of course. With this words that you have spoken, I offer you the understanding of Christ and the forgiveness of his love. It is up to you to be able to see it through. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. He'll exit the box.
After a while, the priest exits as well.
Cass too, the priest is very like he's a very tall man, but he's like appearing very small, like very this is not confident.
Meanwhile, Father Mitier looks to be a man in about his 40s. As he kind of looks at you with a soft smile.
Cass will reach in his wallet and pull out what he would have given at a normal church service. And he'll
Takes it.
hand it to
You know, you can always hand this to me at the services should you wish to attend. Though I do not want to apply pressure to you.
I wish I could, I do.
I see.
It's not for lack of wanting.
Very well.
Have a good night, Father.
You as well, my child.
Cass will smile at him and incline his head, and he'll begin to make his way out of the church.
Alright. With that, the father turns around and enters into the back of the church, continuing cleaning up. With that, as you step outside, you see a figure block your path. Here we go. The dark hair and orange-colored eyes of Caius blocks your path. You know, Cass, you're quite predictable.
I know.
Predictability can be dangerous for people like us. As he steps closer to you. Though he has to look up at you, it still looks like he's looking down.
What can I do for you, Caius?
I need you to do something for me. But before that, I want to know how you've been.
What do you mean?
What have you been up to?
What you left me up to.
And that is... what are the other Tremere doing? And what have they been up to?
Trying to fix the mess that is the current chantry.
And how are they going about it?
They're trying to figure out how to get the gargoyle. Though it seems to have come to light that the gargoyle came about when you were around.
I see.
They're trying to figure out how to fix all of this. Philomena's back in the chantry.
I see. At this point, just to check, is Kess looking down and not looking at him directly?
Yeah, Kess is not making direct
Alright.
eye contact.
With that, you feel an odd sensation as his hand rises up and kind of almost strokes your cheek for a moment as it moves up to the back of your head. As you then feel his fingers grip into your hair, physically pulling you down to his level as you can feel the slight pain of him pulling on your hair as he forces you to look him in the eye. I want you to tell me everything they have been up to. Now.
They've only been trying to fix what's going on with us and find the gargoyle.
Is that all?
Apart from their own interest, yes.
You feel his hand tighten.
Hasib only just started believing it was real when Philomena came. Philomena wants to go to Vienna to figure out what happened.
You feel the tightness of his hand lessen, but he's still holding you firmly.
They're trying to figure out why we're losing power.
I see.
And I've lost it the most, but they don't know yet.
You've lost your power.
I tried to use it, and I can't do it. I breathed like I was human again.
Very well then. My
Maruna's looking for a book.
A book? What book?
I don't know what book. It's just a book.
You feel his hand tighten on your hair again.
I don't know what book. She didn't tell me.
Fine. You will do something for me. I want you to fetch me the blood of the other Tremere. I don't care what you store it in, but you get it to me.
Why do you want it? He looks him in the eye.
You will do it. Or you will face the consequences for your disloyalty.
What are you planning?
To save us. To save all of us. And that he smiles.
You know how to fix it.
Oh yes, child. But I need to ensure there is no other interruptions. So you will do this for me, or I promise you, I will show you that my power has not faded 1 inch. With that, you see his eyes flash, glowing a slight orange brightness before it fades back. With that, he lets go of your hair, brushes himself off.
You're not going to hurt them, are you? With their blood.
I have said what I needed to. You will do
You
as you're
said
told.
nothing.
I will do what is necessary for the sake of the clan. I will do everything I need to ensure my survival.
That's not.
I will see you soon, Cass. Or else. And with that, he walks off.
Cass will stand a moment and then walk out. And once he hits the street or bushes or something, he will dry heave.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, once he's chilled out a bit, he'll start walking back to the chantry.
Alright. With that, we return back to the chantry. And we focus in on our dear regent. With that, Geordie, as we watch as you open the letter that is addressed to Quentin Quangle.
I was not opening it.
Oh, you're not opening it. Never mind.
No,
In that
I wanted to
case-
leave a cliffhanger. I think he decides not to.
Right. In that case, we cut back to Quangle and Hasib, who are, I imagine, gathered in the library.
Awesome. Nasib, you will notice the new rug on the floor.
I have seen it, and Asib nods. If he's had some time to set up a little study session at a table in the library, he definitely has, because he's ready to dig in. He looks at the carpet and says, "Do you think the quartermaster has all sorts of supplies and such? We can always, if the carpet, we don't need a whole new carpet, right? Just a little section."
That's not how it works with carpeting. We would have to remove this entire room, and Quangle outstretches his hands. For whatever reason and by whatever means, it's one uninterrupted piece of carpet. Every turn, every nook, every alcove, it's all one carpet, Hasib. It's one. There's no break in the carpet.
Right. Sorry, I am not too familiar with the replacement of carpets. He kind of glances towards the table in the titleless book. Is it am I allowed to have this here? And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out what seems to be a voice recorder, just a plain one, and a couple tapes in his other hand. I was going to um annotate out loud some of my pieces of my study, in case if something was to happen to me, then you guys would have my research and my learning Um,
Quangle puts a hand on Hasib's shoulder. In the normal warmth and ennui that you usually see in Quangle's face completely falls to just coldness. Hasib, have you been recording our conversations in the chantry?
no, no. That is why I asked for permission here. With this. I mean, technically, I have recorded in my room just to make sure it still worked, but I haven't really used it anywhere else. I used it all the time back in college to, to give study notes to people sometimes. But I don't really need it to myself. This is more for you all, in case we could be attacked anytime. There could be assassins right behind that bookcase. We don't know.
Hasib, the things we do, the conspiracies, the magic, the bloodletting, these are things not to be recorded. I have told you, Jordy has told you, others in the chantry has told you. Cameras are not all right, therefore, tape recorders are not all right. Now, you know what happens now. I'm going to let Jordy know, and he's going to crush it.
No,
Unfortunately, we are in the library, so he'll be crushing it on my floor, which is carpeted. So now I have to find a new carpet to contain the stains that your recorder will leave.
I could put it back in my room. I don't need to use it. It doesn't
You're
need to
going
be
to walk-
crushed.
It needs to be crushed along with your tapes, Hasib. We've done this a few times now.
Why? Steve just shakes his head. Why are we not using technology in this place? It is ridiculous. No wonder the clan is falling behind and crumbling.
We can use technology, Hasib. Kess has a computer. We can use these things. But we can't have recorders in things that record information so that one other person, and Quangle's being very, animated with his hands. We can't record what we do here. One, it is criminal, to be clear, by the laws of man and God. The things we do here is criminal. Two, it would break the Masquerade. And we can't do that. We can't do these things.
Fine. I don't think this needs crushed. I will protest the crushing of resources, especially when we have dwindling resources. But I am.
At this point, Maruna arrives.
Give it to the quartermaster.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think it's important. I just saw. What do you know about devils?
The warmth and ennui returns to Dr. Quangle. Welcome back, dear Maruna. I'm sure we have a book about devils in the library. Please sign in. See, give that to the
quickly
quartermaster.
Sign in. We have other enemies to worry about.
More enemies, Maruna. We have to complete one task at a time.
I don't think we don't always have that luxury, Dr. Quingle.
Well, we have to complete. That is true. That is technically true. Okay, what is the new enemy? What new foe must be faced?
Devils.
Devils.
Devils, as in, I've read about things. The supposed demons. Are these the same thing as the devils?
Maybe. I think they're like us, but not like us. Skin. They look like they've been turned inside out. muscles, their veins are on the outside of their body.
Fascinating. On the outside, you say? No skin.
Yes.
Let us see if we have any books on them. Should I make a roll for that, Mark?
Sure. Make a intelligence and occult. For you, this will be difficulty 5. As this is a topic you have looked into before.
Again, on the
Matters of the
inside,
flesh.
the flesh and the mind.
Matters of the flesh and the mind.
And Hasib's going to kind of sidestep a few times over to his where the book was at, and with his curiosity going, he's going to open it up and to a random page because it's all strange, and kind of think about devils and what that might be, or demons or anything.
All right. First of all, 5 successes. There are a group of kindred that are known as flesh shapers or flesh crafters, or more commonly, fiends. They are of the clan of Zemitzi, the ancient and vile clan of monstrous flesh shapers who attempt to ascend themselves from the kindred existence to become something even more greater. They are known to be the leaders of the organization known as the Sabbat that exists as counter to the Camarilla. They are also one of your clan's greatest enemies, as in the beginning there was a large war that was fought against the Zemitzi in an attempt to wipe out the clan. Or rather, also the Zemitzi clan's attempt to wipe out the Tremere. In the end, it kind of ended in a stalemate once the Camarilla was formed, upon which the Zemitzi decided to keep more to themselves, at least those that didn't join up with the Sabbat and became lifelong enemies of the entire Camarilla instead of just the Tremere. Other than that, trying to see what else you might know.
Because they're also my. We've got some history.
Yes. So what you do know is that they are a clan supposedly originating from somewhere in Eastern Europe, specifically believed to be around the Carpathian Mountains. At least that's what you were able to find through your own investigations.
Okay. Definitely. Please continue.
I'd say you have perhaps seen one before. But that was a pretty hectic situation because they were trying to kill you and a bunch of your companions that you were with at the time. This was when the Sabbat actually still led raids into the city, which they haven't done for probably about the last 4 years or so.
Okay. Quengle will inform all those present of all of that. I have a few books, like adding on, and I have maybe a book or two on the matters as they pertain to my shared interest with this clan, being the flesh and the mind. So, he starts gathering the books. I've actually been able to put these through my Dewey Decimal System, so I can go right to them. See, they're here. It's important that we have all the books cataloged and titled.
At this
he
point,
starts
Jordy,
bringing
you
up-
arrive to the scene.
Jordy has in his hand, like his clipboard. Actually, is probably what you see.
Welcome, Regent. Please sign in. Marina, you've signed in. Hasib, I know you've signed in, so we're all good. Yes, everything is properly ordered. So yeah. Oh, please continue.
I told them when I saw that Dr. Quinkle has books on the matter.
Yes. The being that Marina saw may be of Clan Simitsi, potentially a fiend of some kind. You know,
Also,
no
at this
skin,
point,
flesh on the outside.
Hasib, could you roll me a wits? Actually, no. Roll me your willpower. Your willpower difficulty 7.
Willpower. Oh, okay.
Oh, also, could you all roll me a d10? All this.
Yeah.
And then you may continue your conversation.
Yes, these essentially maybe kindred of the Clan Simitsi who have some animosity towards us, Clan Tremere, and not actual beings from the pit, as it were. I have these books here that we can all peruse and read through. Don't worry, I've already logged them next to your names, just in case you would like to take any with you. I just ask for their prompt return.
Mark, can I do a test to know what I've been taught about the Sabbat?
Sure. Intelligence politics. I also need d10s to be rolled by Jordy, Quangle, and yes.
Yay, a 1. That's good, right?
I'm sure it's fine. We're gonna be fine.
Nice.
It's fine.
9.
Ooh.
All right. You would know the basics, Shorty. The Sabbat are the antithesis to the Camarilla. They believe that instead of hiding in the shadows and controlling society by pulling strings, that they should revel in their vampiric existence. They also believe that they are the heralds of what they call Cain, believing that it is their right and duty to destroy the antediluvians and destroy all the elders that exist. They're basically a far more radical version of what would be the anarchs. They're also, as far as you know, quite literally insane. But a lot of their practice seemed to be almost this kind of religious reverence for this being that, or belief in Cain. Seems to be some strange, corrupted biblical angles. They're very odd people. Or, people's not the right word. Very odd monsters.
When he hears reference to this, he says, the Sabbat. So it seems that the vultures have begun to circle, not just the Assamites.
Oh, and you would also know, specifically to do with the city, is that the city had actually a number of incursions from the Sabbat within the last 30 years, but they suddenly stopped about 4 years ago.
Fascinating. With that, Mark, remind me, he had a letter addressed to himself. To
Yes,
him
you
too,
did.
right?
That's true.
I have another wartime rule. Outside communication should be informed to the chantry. Right now, we have nothing but an opportunity to trust one another. And that's difficult. Quite difficult. Addresses such as letters or communications with others should be summarized. And we should all be an audience of such things.
At this point, the doors
With that
open,
in mind,
and Kess steps in.
He
Mr. Price,
turns.
please sign in.
I sign in diagonally across 2 lines as normal.
I think that Marina will try to kind of subtly go to Cass and just say, like, thanks for running that errand for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that, I'll tell you about it later.
Mr. Price, welcome back.
He inclines his head and makes his way to the table where everyone else is.
After his suggestion, Jordy lets loose from his clipboard. He has 2 envelopes. And he hands one to Dr. Quangle and one to himself. And he opens the one to himself.
Alright. As you open,
He's not going to read it out loud, but he'll summarize it at the end. Yeah.
As you open the letter to yourself, it is a formal letter from the Seneschal, Louis Brand, who informs you that your request for a meeting has been approved, and the meeting is to be scheduled the night of the next Elysium on Friday.
A meeting with the prince, right?
Yeah, meeting with the prince.
It seems that our request to speak to the prince has been accepted at the next Elysium. It's a letter from the Seneschal. And then he'll motion to Dr. Quangle.
Quangle will look at the letter. Is there like a return address on the letter, or does it just say Quentin Quangle, Doctor?
It says Quentin Quangle, and it does have a return address on it.
Is it? Do I recognize the address, or?
I don't
or is
think
it-
you would. The name you
Okay,
would.
is it-
I think the name you would. The name is, in fact... Epona Spellman Quangle.
Oh no. Quangle would look at the letter. The the ennui and mirth drops again. Very clinical. A very convenient time for rules to change, is it not? But I suppose that is the way.
The old regent read them all for you. Would you prefer I do that?
No, you'll just have me read this out loud. For
I'll
context,
summarize the
everyone.
importance. You do not
I've
have to
received-
state the full detail of what's inside.
Mm.
Only what is important to the clan.
Thank you for that olive branch. For context, everyone, Epona is my wife. We're currently estranged, so there's that. And Quangle opens the letter and begins to read to himself.
The letter itself is carefully worded, informing you that she is in town and would like to speak if you are available. Uh, she lists that she should have some time in the afternoon tomorrow. Alternatively, she might be amenable to another time if you can inform her of your hours.
Is there a phone number that I could call to inform her of my hours, or a way to return, like
There
confirm and
is
return?
a phone number, and there is an address of a hotel, and a room number.
My wife is in town, and she would like to meet.
Your your wife.
Yes, Jordy. When a man and woman love each other very much, and they are of similar
You are
ethics
no
and
longer
moral,
kind, Mr. Dr. Quangle. Is she?
she was last time I saw her. Things may have changed. Who knows? How interesting.
Is there any matter in that letter relevant to the clan?
No, not at all. You've just made me lay out my personal business in front of the clan. So thank you for that. But no, there isn't.
Hasib raises a hand and says, "Why, how did the letter get here to the chantry?"
Do I? Actually, the quartermaster's here, isn't he, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
I'll motion to the quartermaster without saying anything.
Well, it was the address that you gave us, Dr. Quangle, or at least was organized, and then it was forwarded here. Or rather, it was picked up and brought here.
All through the official means and channels, if we are to receive letters. Not, she doesn't have the address of the chantry, if that's what you're wondering, Hasib.
Good, good. Well,
Or it was probably picked up from like a P.O. box.
should we be concerned? I mean, when we're traveling outside, we have to go in pairs at least, right? Do you plan to go? Who do you wish to go with?
Yes, that is the rule, he says, looking over at Kess briefly, but not making any point past that glance.
Here's. Hmm. I, hmm. I haven't decided if I'm going to go to her yet. We did not have a good falling out. But I believe. Maruna, why don't you join me? I think it'll be good to get you out of the chantry, get some fresh air.
Sure, I would love that.
So it seems we have a number of matters to address, and yet another. Dr. Quangle, as Whip, would you mind letting Mr. Price know the matter concerning Caius?
Yes. Mr. Price, during your time away running errands, it was decided at the last meeting that we cannot count the executioner amongst our allies currently due to not knowing his intent and his actions. Because of that, should we find him to be not our ally, he will be regarded as our enemy. However, that is after an investigation and conversations.
Okay. What sort of investigation are we talking?
Well, we're going to find out what he's doing. I believe the Regent has a plan.
Mr. Price, if you wouldn't mind inviting Caius to speak to us. Perhaps this time he can do more than demand that we look after his mess.
What precisely do you want me to say to him?
Tell him that the House of Tremere would like to speak with him.
What are you going to do, Jordy?
As Dr. Quengle said, we must know friend or foe.
That
There are no
doesn't
free agents in war.
tell me what you're about to do.
We need him to play a role in this, or, at the very least, address his own mess.
So you're bringing him here to lecture him.
To request it.
And you want me to call him here.
You are his childer.
And you think that means he listens to me?
I suspect he doesn't listen to anybody.
Yeah.
You seem concerned, Mr. Price.
I'm a little concerned about what you're going to do once he's here.
In what regard?
You just called him an enemy. If you call him that to his face, then those consequences will be yours, but I wouldn't recommend it.
And what would you recommend?
Keep him away.
His suggestion was that he would return to make sure that we looked after his little problem. I don't think he'll be kept away.
You don't want him here. You think you do, but you don't.
Of note,
You'll need to.
it is also. Oh, sorry.
Go
It
ahead.
is also within my role as whip to inform you of more rules. We have instituted the anti-secret rule while here, as evidenced by me reading out a letter from my estranged wife in front of everyone. So this goes for everyone. If there's information you have, please give it.
We've been given
Well-
3 days grace period. Or is that changed?
Not to my knowledge.
The rules remain. These are times of war.
Hasib, you have been spending your time looking through the book, trying to find something of relevance to the thoughts of demons or fiends, just kind of listening into everything that's being talked about as you look through the book. Eventually, you find a passage of the book, as it reads the following. Through my investigations into the origin of the blood of Tremere, I have found numerous examples that mention the following. The seeds of grace, used to unlock the power and form together the ritual necessary to create what was perhaps a mistake. One of such seeds was used up while the other was stolen. Attempts to track down the seeds are negligible, leading to only a couple names that have been found and a destination. I believe that it has been taken by one of the fiends to some location within the Carpathian Mountains. Investigations still need to be completed. We'll update once further discoveries have been found. This note is then dated. The date is... Let me find this. Here we go. The date is 1044.
Okay, and
1044
just
is about 202 years after the creation of the House of Tremere. Or after the creation of the clan of Tremere, rather.
and did it say how many seeds there were in total? Just that many
It said it
have
knows of
been-
2.
knows of 2? Okay. Just the seeds of grace. It didn't go into what the seed was.
Nope.
All right.
And then the rest of the book continues in strange writings that don't quite make sense.
Asib kind of blinks and he's been listening but only half listening, and he tries to find a gap in the conversation as he looks up. He kind of raises his hand for a second before saying, has anyone been to the Carpathian Mountains? I believe those are on another continent.
Say the name again.
The Carpathian Mountains.
Why do you need to know?
And he looks down at the book again, flipping a page or two. Well, speaking of the fiends, it seems they may have stolen something of the clan at one point. Now, this was a long time ago. This passage was written and detailed. But it is strange that fiends are coming back up. He blinks a few more times. I
What
think. Go ahead.
What did they take?
It seems. I am unfamiliar with this term, but a seed of grace. Is this something you know of?
That's what he said. That's what he said in my vision. He told me to bring him the seed.
The
The
late
Flesh Man said that.
Yes.
the late regent was looking at a flyer for an exhibit at the museum from that exact region.
How are you aware of what the late regent was looking at?
I had my sources and my ways of knowing.
3 days.
So the museum, was that where was that museum at?
It's our museum in the city.
There. Their exhibits are usually so-so.
It sounded so, if I'm honest.
I mean, this could be it. The book goes on that there may be more than one seed. They seem pretty important regarding the origins of our clan and our blood, though. So maybe they're not like normal seeds that need earth to grow, and it's something not seed shaped, and it's more of a concept, and perhaps even a magical artifact. I'm not sure. It doesn't go much more into the origins of these seeds, other than they must be quite potent, and they are used in the creation of things, rituals even.
How late is the museum open?
You don't have the flyer on you. You would need to go check it.
I handed the flyer to somebody else, but I have it in my notes. 1 second.
You get a copy.
He copied everything. So give me a hot second. I gotta scroll up through my notes. I'm going.
And then, Mark, quick question: for the meeting with my estranged wife,
Yeah.
you said in the afternoon. What day? What day was that?
Of the next day. So essentially, it would be
Tomorrow.
yeah, Monday afternoon. The problem is, it's a time that you're not awake.
Yes.
It's
I
like
can't
2
wake up in
p.m.
the middle of the day. Yes.
There are lectures at 7 p.m. The sun sets a little later than that, but we could maybe make it.
I think this is the best lead we've had for some time.
Mark, a quick question.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be the museum that Hasib unintentionally sabotaged slightly in it with a Nosferatu in the Toreador.
You know what? I'm gonna say it is.
Good.
Oh.
Hasib, there's a click in his mind. He kind of shrinks into his book a little bit that he has open. And he says, if it's perhaps best I do not attend anything that regards this particular museum in the city.
I will say you would probably know that this museum is within the Toreador's domain.
And Hasib says, I know of it, and actually I know a lot about it, but I don't think I am supposed to be there. So,
Something happened?
yes. I mean, I've never physically been to the museum there, but I have been in their and he looks around the room for a second. I may have been in their security systems before, and I may have not made friends with some Toreador patrons of this museum.
Did you hack them?
I mean, on technicalities,
Hasib.
he kind of shrinks a little more. I didn't know it was as a hack, but in the end that's what it was. I may have been tricked in a way.
Maruna's gonna kind of look at Kess and say, if he hadn't gotten caught, you would have been proud.
Later. Okay, so Hasib's not going because Hasib might get arrested.
Oh no, they didn't. Nobody caught me. Nobody there, but someone talked to them. Someone after the fact informed them of my small involvement. Um,
You
things
said
may
you were
have been. There was some fallout at the museum. Some things, not to my doing anyway, but the after effects. So I should stay far away, I think.
you said that you were tricked. What happened? Who told you to do that?
Right. Well, since it's relevant and we are no longer keeping secrets, I made some friends. When I first got to the city here, I was with my sire, but I do tend to go onto the interwebs, and I found some interesting forums. I'm not sure if perhaps Cass, you know of particular forums that our um our sneaky sewer dwelling friends like to go on to, and I met one, and he was very nice. He introduced me to so many things around, in the about our kind, and he's my friend, and he told me about
You
this.
fell in with one of the Nosferatu.
Yes, I mean I never actually met him in
Which
person.
one?
I'm gonna Mark, if it's okay with you. What was that one? It was like
I was
white.
about to say,
Yes, please.
the
What was his name?
name that he goes by is let me find
I
it.
wrote it down. Bitegeist.
Bite
Bite
Geist.
guys.
Yeah, Bite Geist.
Yeah.
To my knowledge of Bitegeist, was Bitegeist messing with him? Just like based off my knowledge of who he is.
Oh, Bite Geist loves to fuck with people.
Yeah,
That's like
okay,
his
cool.
main thing.
Does Hasib say who it was?
Yeah, Hasib says, my friend, his name, well, at least on the forums, is Bitegeist. He is, he knows so many things. And well, he was a good introduction, especially to the courts and some of the people. I mean, didn't
Hasib,
go in.
you know how I tell you not to trust people?
Yes, you do say that.
He was messing with you.
No,
You
no,
did
he.
get set up, and you did get caught. So you're not going to the museum. Also, don't talk to Bitegeist regularly. He's a he's good for information. Don't let him lead you into things. It's usually something for him to have fun.
But
I believe the decision. Oh, excuse me.
oh,
Please.
I'm sorry. Asib kind of just says "but" and then it trails off a little bit because that's his friend. That's his internet friend.
I believe the decision of who goes is quite obvious. I have other arrangements tomorrow evening when Marina will be joining me, so it will be Mr. Price and our dear Regent going to the museum. Be sure to leave a donation. They are horribly underfunded.
I'll make sure to.
And what for Hasib?
Hasib can do research. We have a number of tomes here on the flesh person. Hasib has his book, which is very interesting as it's not labeled or logged yet. So dear Hasib can be here doing research and preparing rituals, because we do have a number of rituals to cast.
What do you mean it's not labeled or logged?
That's the one
The blank.
That's the one I told you about.
It has no title. It has no
And-
appendix, no author's notes.
And seeing as we are not keeping secrets, I was hoping to delve more into it yesterday when I realized. And Hasib kind of opens up to a random page and opens it and shows the regent. Sometimes it talks, it says words to me. Maybe it does to you all if you were to read it, but it's not a normal tome.
It
The
spoke to you?
text- Yeah, yes, it did. That's what kind of scared me the other day when we were speaking, and I'm not sure why it changes the text in here. It must be sentient in some way.
What did
Uh,
it say to you?
A quick question, Jordy. What languages do you speak? If you speak in that language.
I want to check. I might. One sec. It might just be English though.
I'll have to log that book in the possessed
Because
category.
you basically, by default, you have English because it's the chronicle language, and your mother tongue, whatever that is for your character.
Catalan.
All right. This does not appear to be a language you recognize. You can make an intelligence academics if you would like. Try and tell what the root language is.
Why not? Why not? I'll just. I think he kind of passively just does it with a squint.
Sure.
She'll say, Maruna's gonna let Hasib. It spoke to me once, but I don't think it wants me to read it. What did it say to you?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but it said for our eyes only, my eyes only, House's eyes only. Actually, Hasib would remember. He's got very good memory. So what
I
did
believe it
say,
was for
Mark?
your eyes only, was what it said.
It said for my eyes only, but I don't know why my eyes. I mean,
It must. Maybe you're the only one who can read it. It said to me when I had it in my pack and I went outside the chantry, I felt it burning almost, and I took it out and it said, for Tremere eyes only. And I closed it. When I opened it up again, it was gone. If it said to you, if it said, for your eyes only, it's for you. Hasib, you are the only one who can read it.
For Geordie, as you're looking through it, it seems like it maybe is some sort of romance language, but you're not able to translate what it says.
It's definitely derived from the Romance languages.
I don't think it's a consistent language. Hasib, when you first showed it to me, you said it was French. And we poured over French. But then you said that Philomena knows French. And when she looked at it, she couldn't read it either. You're the only one that's been able to read it.
but the one time it you could read it, it said Tremere can read it. That we are all Tremere, right?
I don't
The
think
clan?
it wanted to be taken out of the chantry. I think it was
Ah.
warning me.
This is quite puzzling. I do like a good puzzle. It's bad timing for one, but yes, I cannot go to the museum, so I can devote all the time to studying this, getting the chest open, perhaps the rituals into the gargoyle, and figuring out what this book is about. The fiends now. Oh, we have a lot, I think.
And we have our plans in order. Except for one item left reserved. The matter of Caius. We agreed as members of the chantry that Caius is not participating in what we do here, but he will come back. If you don't like my suggestion, then you have 1 day to present me with an alternative.
You don't understand what you're doing.
Then inform me, Mr. Price.
Don't make me do this, Shorty.
He looks confused. Dr. Quangle, could you please inform Mr. Price of your offer?
Out
Those
of
of
pure
client privilege, the
Oh, yeah.
patient privilege.
There is, within the 3 days of no keeping secrets, there is an opportunity for individuals to come forward to me. You have complete doctor-patient confidentiality, as I do keep my Hippocratic oath. So if you're not comfortable speaking here, you can talk to me, and we can discuss this together. You all are aware that I do seek out matters of the flesh, but I also seek out matters of the mind, too. I took a course on providing therapy.
I don't need you to pick my brain apart.
I won't be picking your brain apart. You will be. Part of the process. Therapy.
If you want an advocate in the room with you, which is your right, and he kind of twists his head a little bit, then as the magister, I can join, but it is only up to you.
It's not sounding like I have much of a choice, is it?
Mr. Price, you always have a choice.
No, I don't. I've never had a choice. You have no idea what you're doing. You're kicking a hornet's nest and expecting it to turn out fine.
And what are we to do instead?
Keep him away from here.
How?
Sure, he'll come back here, he'll bitch. That's better than the alternative. You
So
won't
we're to
win.
just let him come and go. I don't expect to face him one-on-one. We're either a chantry or we're not.
He's looking like visibly, he's not calm. This is not calm. He looks cornered.
I think that you gave the Chantry 3 days to make their decisions, and I don't think we need a decision to be made right now. Individuals have to think about what they need to say, what they want to say, and what they don't want to say. So no one has to come forward or say anything rash right now at this particular moment, or in the library near my carpet.
There is no what they want to say and what they don't want to say. He, and he gestures at Jordy, didn't give us a choice. There is no choice here. You're creating the illusion of one, but let's be very, very honest about what you've said. You've said we are to have no secrets whatsoever at all. They all come out in front of everyone. So
For
there's
matters
no
of the
choice.
clan. For the
Everything
matters
we
of the
do
clan.
is a matter of the clan. You just had him read about his ex-wife.
It's true. Tell me, what would the previous regent have done differently?
The previous regent let us do what we needed to do. He didn't ask where my information came from.
No,
just knew.
He didn't ask. He knew. because he knew.
I
Mark,
never told.
is there anything I know? Because, like, I want to be clear. This guy sounded like a bit of an asshole, our previous regent. So what information would the whip have had and witnessed that someone might have, say, forgotten, or through means of dominate, let's say,
Oh, good
or
question.
yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
just I think that Marina would say quietly, just I think we had. I don't know that we had any more privacy before. I think we just had the illusion of it.
I think that for you, Geordie, speaks to the heart of it. The illusion of privacy. Because in the reality, there is no privacy in the clan of Tremere. A regent knows all whether you like it or not. And sometimes the regent will just ask. And if he's not given an answer, he will force it from you. And in some cases, remove that the question has even been asked. But he was also not without his subtlety. More of a scalpel than a sledgehammer.
Yep.
But you knew he could be just as devious, and when he needed to be just as brutal.
For matters of the clan, we need to know everything until we're out of this situation, whatever this is.
He will kill you all or worse. Likely worse. You wanted the truth, there it is.
Kill his own clan?
Shocking, isn't it, to think he ever cared?
It's not a matter of caring. There's rules, there's traditions.
When has he ever played by the rules? He doesn't live in the chantry.
That's an afforded right by anyone who is an elder.
Yes. I'm asking you honestly, do you think? Does he have allies?
Oh, I'm sure he does.
The fact of the matter is that the rules that we were under before were underpinned by bonds. Bonds that were underpinned by the pyramid, and the pyramid has fallen. So the older rules are out, and we must figure out how we're going to proceed forward, collectively or individually. When I spoke about this earlier during the meeting, I wanted to make clear that we understood what we were doing, and I was saying what Mr. Price has just said. Well, I was saying it subtly, but Mr. Price has just said it. Make no mistake. If we are calling war on Caius, then we are calling to war on him. He is not a man that I would assume would take kindly to being questioned as to his whereabouts, or he's not a man that I would assume would have anything other than nefarious things going on. You've seen what he does in the dungeons. I've seen it. I've studied it from time to time.
I know.
So
Have you?
Well, yes, I have an interest in matters of the flesh and the mind.
Indeed. So we are to what then? Just wait till he comes back? Cower? Continue to fight amongst each other? Because that's what chaos will bring. And we're going to die in the process.
You
I'm
can't
not going
beat
to tell you
him.
that.
Not. Not individually.
No one can beat him.
Do you know that? Or do you feel that?
I know that more intimately than anyone else.
You've faced him on his terms. Have you ever had the chance to face him on your own terms, with your own army behind you?
That's very sweet of you, Marina, but I never had an army. I had pride.
Numbers are more effective than pride.
I'll call him here, but
I'm not suggesting if you think it's better to wait. You know him better than the rest of us. Your wisdom is important here, but I do.
it's... Sorry.
We should be prepared. And if he does show up, I don't think we should cower.
We have our immediate goals in front of us. Kess, to be clear, I'm delegating you with the decision on what to do about your sire. You're no longer outside of the situation. You're right in it. The fate of this group, in regards to your sire, now is yours to own and bear. I wasn't left with the impression that he was going to return with hugs the next time he saw us. Especially if we didn't complete his little task.
I think I'm done airing out my dirty laundry for today.
The meeting's adjourned. And with that, Jordy will walk out of the room.
Quango's gonna follow Jordy.
Hasib's gonna turn to Kess as they leave and say, We have my sire. If it does become us versus him.
Do you know what your sire said to me?
Hopefully nothing but no, I don't. No.
That I was just like him.
You're not.
You're very optimistic. I need
You
to...
don't-
Sorry.
No. I'm sorry. Philomena has insights, but she hasn't been here to know people.
Philomena's still in the room. I'm sorry. This is a group meeting. I don't know if she's here, and I'm getting really, really worried.
Philomena's not here.
I assume
Yeah.
she's not.
Philomena's not
Okay,
here.
all of
No,
a sudden
she's
my
here.
brain
The
is
first
like,
meeting either.
she's just sitting in the
talking
corner.
about it.
I think I'm the only other one still in the room.
Okay, good. All of a sudden, I was like, oh no, is she in the room? Jesus. Okay.
Strangles Hasib. She
How dare you?
her studies, her time has been spent outside the chantry. She keeps to the books, much like I do, and I respect her for that. But she doesn't see the people here, the family that is here. So, I suppose if she made a a judgment on you. It is from the surface, but that doesn't mean that defines you. It doesn't mean you have to follow the path of your sire, especially if you don't want it.
I'm not going to follow in his path. I'm a tool to get what he wants.
You don't have to.
I need to. I'm gonna talk to Jordy very quickly. If he wants secrets, I'll give them for now. Some. Thank you for what it's worth. Don't message Bike Geist anymore. Or run it by me before you do.
Hasib smirks, shaking a head. Let me know if I need to start the van.
Yeah, Cass is going to follow Quangle and Jordy. If I can figure out where they went. To be fair, there was a conversation span of time. I assume Jordy's office. There are like 2 places Jordy goes.
I think at which phase we will cut to Jordy and Dr. Quang. Where would they have gone?
Jordy was leaving and heading towards his office. He had no awareness, I think, of Dr. Quangle.
All right.
And if Quangle was like trying to call after him, he would be walking as he, like talking as he walked.
Quangle would be following closely behind Jordy, his usual lethargic pace gone. I assume you're going to your office. He would
That's
say.
exactly where I plan to go, Dr. Quangle.
Sensational. You and I have business.
Regarding
your actions as of late and your tenure here as regent. I think this would
with
be
that,
a very candid conversation best had in your office.
Very well. With that, he'll turn and continue on.
I assume we're in the office. Quangle, if there's a seat, you got other seats in your office? Like, do you see there, like, just Jordy has
Oh
one
yeah,
seat for
there's
himself?
like, it's like one seat and him. It's like very interrogation style. It's like one seat and his seat. Yeah.
Quangle takes a seat before being offered a seat. But he does the thing where you turn the seat around and you're kind of like the back of the chair is up to your chest, sitting that way.
Well, that kills him on the inside a bit. I presume you've watched The Breakfast Club recently.
Yes, it's great cinema. You understand what it means that we don't have these bonds anymore, correct?
I do.
Good. I've seen you dominate Kess, who actively attempted to save your life, and you dealt me a grievous blow today. You were aware that you received that letter was for me? Prior to said meeting, you could have called me to the side and informed me of what you planned to do, and given me some form of option. You and I have history, yet you decided not to do that.
Do you know what our biggest problem is here, Dr. Quangle?
Our biggest problem is your lack of subtlety.
Let me inform you what that is. You see, we have a puzzle in front of us. We have all the pieces, but they appear to be in everyone's pockets. How are we to put the puzzle together while the pieces are in everyone's pockets?
Well, I'll tell you. You ask different people different questions. You can't ask Mr. Price a question the same way you would ask Hasib, the same way you would ask Maruna, the same way you would ask me. You're the leader here, and it's about time you figured out and learned your people.
as if you were asked questions at all by the previous regent.
No. But what he had that we don't have is a wellspring of power. And from said power came said authority. He could do that. We are not in that position. You are not in that position. You don't share his power. You cannot proceed like he proceeded. He was untouchable. And I assure you, Jordy, you are not untouchable.
You know, I used to think he was untouchable. When I watched him, he kind of puts his fingers out onto the desk, pretty close to Quangle's. He says, when I watched him touch one of the men on the skin and watched him turn to ash, the previous residents of this place, it became apparent to me that he knew when to deliver a blow and when to let things slide. Right now, we have people blatantly ignoring orders, and we're to step aside, let them do their own thing. We won't be Tremere anymore, Dr. Quangle. We might as well be Malkavians.
I'm not saying that you should step aside. I'm not saying that you should let individuals do their own thing. But what I am saying is that you should figure out the resources you have and how best to employ them. Everyone has a leash. Some leashes need to be longer than others. But everyone has a leash. That leash used to be bonds that we all shared magically, intrinsically. That is gone. Now we just have our interpersonal connections, whatever you want to call it. You need to ingratiate within yourself and amongst us some goodwill. You should do so quickly before Caius shows up.
I'll think on your advice, but I think that if we lose what we were, we won't be here very long.
Dear Jordy, we've already lost it. The pyramid has crumbled. And with that, Quingle will leave.
At which point, Quangle, you find as you open the door, you are face to face with Kess.
Mr. Price.
You might as well be in the room for this.
There are only 2 seats in this room. I invite
I'll
you to take that
stand.
one.
No, I'll stand.
All right.
Um,
Sit back down.
He'll shut the door behind him. He leans against the door. He puts himself between everybody else in the door.
Quangle reaches into his breast pocket with his scalpel. Like, okay.
No. He's ready to attack.
Okay, I see what's going on.
I'm the big bad. He swallows like he's having trouble figuring out what to say. You wanted secrets.
I want to know anything that threatens this clan.
I saw Caius tonight. He asked me what you all were doing, and I told him everything. Almost.
He looks over to Quangle and then looks back to Kess.
Almost. What did you leave out?
I left out everything about getting the book that Maruna had to get. I left out that people had abilities that weren't in our clan. I left out what I know about the Regent. And about what's happening to us. To a degree.
And why is he asking for these things?
I don't know.
Can I make a roll to determine if there's any more like left in the statements that she just made?
Perception, empathy, to figure out what he is holding back. For
Separately,
you,
Mark, can I...
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to propose that I do make some kind of roll because I, as the whip, I would have witnessed the regent and the executioner's interactions at least a little, like, marginally, you know? So just trying to get a sense of the history because this guy, to Bob, he's someone I've only encountered once, but Jordy, it's not
Intelligence
the case,
politics. In your case, it would be difficulty 7. And for you, Cass, you can make a manipulation and subterfuge roll.
What's my difficulty? Was that the 7 or?
Your difficulty is 6. They're both 6.
What is my difficulty? Sorry.
6.
Also 6? Okay.
Yeah.
2 successes. All that dice, and I got 2 successes.
Oh.
3.
Yep.
So, I think in that
Whole
case,
lot
it's
being held back. Yeah.
yeah, safe to say that you can see that Kess is holding a lot back.
Okay,
Kess
I
is
just
being
helped
very careful with his words.
Okay, I just had the conversation with Jordy about subtlety.
For you, Geordie, from what you know of the relationship between Kess and Caius, it is a master-servant relationship. Caius is the sire and the master, and Kess does what he's told. Pretty much in any case where Caius is confronted, or rather where Caius confronts Kess, or Kess is in the presence of Caius, Kess's demeanor completely changes. Kess is completely subservient, at least appearing to be so, to his sire.
Sorry, I was actually looking for the regent and executioner's relationship.
Right.
As someone that would have just sat like on the sidelines sometimes. when
Right,
they
sorry,
interacted.
that's my mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what you could tell, it was a relationship in which your sire, the regent, found that Caius was useful. And that means Caius was allowed certain levities. The big thing with Caius is that he did do his job well, but sometimes he had a habit of going a little too far.
Big sorry for that.
No problem.
Can I add one thing to that? Just that
Sure.
I would probably, because Jordy was involved when Maruna came in, and Caius was also involved in that. I don't know if that would be an example of that.
I think so. Again, in that case, Caius was ready and raring to do what needs to be done, but the regent held him back, and Caius did not seem happy about that. But Caius has never actively gone against the wishes and orders of the regent. Not that you know of, at least.
Perfect.
Quangle will look at Cass. Cass, you. These are trying times, Cass. I think we all understand that it asserts some pressures over everyone. We're being pulled in potentially different directions. Don't know which way is north. And in times like that, when you don't know which way is north, I find that it is best to decide what north is going to be. Is there more to that interaction that you had with Caius?
I went to church and he found me there. He asked me, he asked me to do something for him so that he could survive.
What did he ask you to do?
He asked me to tell him everything everyone was doing and to bring him all of your blood, or I would come to regret it deeply.
How did you feel when he asked you that?
Don't start therapisting me.
Mark, where did we find the blood vials? Was it in his area where he did the
It was in the
dungeoning?
security.
It was in the security area that was accessed by the head of security.
Okay.
Specifically, it was in like the security office itself. Technically, he wouldn't have had access to it.
Cass, I'm going to ask you something very serious. I have a quick voice. What do you want? What is it that Cass wants?
That doesn't matter.
I believe it does. It
No.
matters when you say it matters.
The last region didn't really think it mattered. Philomena doesn't think it matters. Caius doesn't think it matters. And realistically, in this instance, it doesn't matter. Do what you want with what I just told you. But if you tell him what I just told you, you condemn me to death. Or worse.
There is a misunderstanding then. Because you're making the decision on what we do with Caius. The regent just said that when we were in the library. It's your decision to make.
I don't want it.
I thought it didn't matter what you wanted.
I'm useless the minute he walks into a room.
What do you mean by that? The bond isn't the same anymore.
If he asked me right now to jump across this table and attack you, I likely would. I don't want to. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, Mark. Can I make some type of medicine roll to determine if it's a mental thing?
We're diagnosing Cass.
Intelligence
Dude, I'm-
medicine? I think this would be intelligence medicine.
man.
Standard diff.
Okay, got you.
I'm trying to think of whether this would be medicine or academics, because I'm actually not too sure.
No worries.
Doesn't seem like dominate to me, Mark, right? As a practitioner of dominate?
You don't think so. Actually, make an intelligence occult. Oh yeah, Dr. Quangle, you've seen post-traumatic stress disorder before. This seems to be a form of that. A form of deep psychological torment or trauma that creates a response fear. Clearly, Caius has done something to Cass. Uh, there is no reason that you believe it to be strictly supernatural. It might just be some good old form of physical or psychological abuse. Whatever it is clear that it is something that affects Cass deeply in his psyche. And from what you know of the executioner, you do not think he would be above such things to get his way. And for you, Geordie, this doesn't sound to be the effects of Dominate. And the effects of Dominate are normally either far more obvious or far more subtle. There's not usually this kind of in-between where someone can talk about what's happened to them.
Right. He'll, I think Jordy will get up at that point. You can choose someone to make the decision for you, but they must accept.
You.
I decline.
Why?
Because you've already warned me. You know my decision. You know my opinion. But I wasn't alone in this decision. The worst I got before you were in the room was caution from Dr. Quangle. That means the others see your sire as a threat as well, and one we can't simply ignore.
If you're going to confront him, you have to keep me away. I don't know what he'll do. I don't know what he'll want me to do.
Is that your decision, Cass? To confront him?
No matter who I give it to, they're going to choose it. I wanted Jordy to make the choice, and Jordy made the choice. Whether he declines or not. You're the regent. Like it or not, I had a hand in making you the regent. I did that because I trust you to a degree. As much as I trust anyone.
That is the kindest thing you've said all day.
Yeah, Philomena said that I was like him and then that I can be very, very cruel. It's also Sunday, so I did agree to at least try.
I was the whip before I was regent. I don't have a large record of you and your cruel acts.
I listened to you until you became regent.
That you did.
I go to church every Sunday. I don't want someone hearing my confession. But he finds me there.
I understand
Nice.
your wishes not to confront him, Cass. I understand that some bonds are more than just magic. Some bonds can be mental and of various reasons. I know you're going to rebuff me. I know, because I know you, as well as you would like me to know you, I suppose. But one thing I will say, this feeling that you have now will remain until you confront him.
I
It's
can
not
never.
something that goes away or that you can keep him away. And in a small way, you've confronted him now by agreeing to this path. And that's a personal victory.
Don't make me call him.
You won't have to call him.
He's not going to save the clan. He's going to save himself. And it's the only thing he knows how to do. And it's the only thing that I know how to do. So,
Which means he knows a solution or more to this information than we
have a plan before he walks in here.
That's the idea.
What if, I have a thought now. We have two issues. What if they both solve themselves? I would assume the gargoyle, the hound, is not a fan of Caius. And I would assume Caius is not a fan of the gargoyle. What if we offered the gargoyle not justice, but vengeance? And we deal with whoever remains, weakened. Let the monsters tire themselves out.
It's tactically sound.
We would need to find the gargoyle first.
But we'd let a beast kill one of us before offering one of us the right to fall in line.
One of us just asked another one of us to bring all of our blood to one of us for nefarious purposes. I don't think he's one of us.
You're right. Very well. I think this is a sound plan. And if he's successful, at least he's dealt with his own mess.
Your sire knew we were losing our power. And he wrote to Philomena about it.
How do you know that?
I went through his office and I stole everything.
Yes.
For what purpose?
Secrets are how you make it. How you survive. You can trade secrets, you can use them. I would have used them to manipulate someone or another at some point. Traded them for something. How do you think I've gotten along as long as I have? Your sire let me do it. Philomena and your sire knew. They knew Maruna was right. They didn't say anything. They let everyone call Maruna crazy. He knew what the artifact meant. Philomena still doesn't, but we do now. I tried to use a ritual and I vomited blood and then breathed like I was human again, briefly. And I've been speaking to the Nosferatu on and off, trying to figure out what they know. They know the gargoyle escaped. I can't gather much more than that because I need to give more to get more. He's like
See.
word vomiting. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, for now, we take what we have. We think on it. We have some plans going forward. 3 separate objectives in front of us. And a theory on how to address the Kaya situation.
In the interest of time, tactically, I believe if not tonight, then tomorrow evening, we need to cast some sort of divination ritual to at least find the gargoyle and know its whereabouts. Whether we decide on employing it as our tool against Caius or not, that remains for thought. But we need to know where it is.
Maruna and Hasib are good at that kind of thing. I'm kind of useless right now.
Dr. Quengle, see that the ritual is looked after. Perhaps it's something we can do before or after the other tasks.
Very well. With that, I think Quengle takes that as, okay, you can leave now for you two to talk or whatever. So Quengle will stand up, put the chair back where he found it.
I step away from the door so he can leave.
Thank you. The same hand that was on the scalpel pats you on the shoulder.
God.
And Quengle walks out and closes the door.
You don't have to stay.
I will if you want me to. But I also understand that you don't exactly trust me right now.
You put me in this position. Was that one of Caius's plans too?
No, that was fine. If I'm being honest with you, it wasn't completely for good intentions. You listened to me. You're one of the only ones that did before this. I would have a say. But you're also the only one with balls enough to take that on. Lord knows I didn't want it. I am sorry.
It sounds like you didn't have much in the way of choice.
Oh,
I
that
will.
one I had choice.
I'm not setting rules just to be some sort of autocrat. These traditions have worked for a long time. If you had had someone with you at the church, perhaps he would have chose not to talk to you.
He'll find a way. Anytime I'm alone. If not the church, it would have been when I walked away from the group. But It was a silly human thing that I hold on to.
We're not
I'm
all
fr-
together that old. None of us are.
I'm older than any of you think I am.
That would be useful to know.
You know my generation already. But I'm in my 30s, not my 20s.
He nods. He was waiting for like you to say you're 200 years old, so it was kind of like
Yeah.
a relax. Yeah.
I just didn't come to the chantry until recently.
Secrets are. They're the way the kindred work. We don't use them as much here because only those who have the right to know have the right to know, and everyone else needs to speak it. That was the old way. Maybe it's time it changes. But that's for another conversation. That he's gonna get up and he's gonna walk out.
Jordy, thank
Stops.
you.
He just stops for a second. There's a pause. He doesn't know what he's being thanked for, but he's too proud to ask. So he will then continue walking.
Cass just sits in Jordy's office for a while. It just happens to be the room he's in, but you know.
No. I think with that, we will end the session there for tonight. I think with that, let's quickly do a round of outros that we have gone a little bit over time. We are going to start off with Cyberbro. Why don't you give us your introduction? Your outro, rather.
All right. I am Cyberbro, so I play Dr. Quangle. Awesome things happening. And if you want to see me in other things, on Tuesdays on Bob's channel, I play Sir Lucius Julius Julianus, a knight in Arthurian England, along with Emily here, who plays Beatrice, a necromancer.
She's not a necromancer, but cool. Yeah, just keep throwing that out there as her character description. That's fine.
That's me.
Very nice. And up next, Bob, why don't you give us your outro?
Hi everyone, Taking Time Bob here. We do a whole bunch of stuff over at Taking Time Bob Gaming, including Mark, including Emily, including... Wait, hold on, everybody. Why am I even naming people? I think everyone's involved in some capacity on my channel, so if you want to see some more of these lovely faces on a fairly frequent basis, sometimes weekly for some of these folks, you can come over and check out our Pendragon games and our new Legend of the Five Rings game, which I won't plug any further because I don't want to ramble and I'm tired and I haven't had a coffee. So that's all I got.
Fair enough. Up next, Emily, why don't you give us your outro?
I almost just started muted. Hi, I'm Emily. I played Kess, and that was super heavy. That was a time. Sorry, everybody. And yeah, I'm in the aforementioned game that both Bob and Cyberbro mentioned. Character's not a necromancer. She's not a necromancer. She has never used it a single time. She, in theory, knows how to do it. She does not use it. Just for clarification.
Very nice. Up next, Ree, why don't you give us your outro?
Hey guys, I'm Ree. I played Maruna. It was a lot of fun tonight. This was a great session. All the secrets are coming out, which is my favorite part. And yeah, I'm super excited for next week. I'm super excited for this plan that Dr. Quangle has hatched. I think it's brilliant. And you can also catch me on Mondays with Mortal Rolls. We're about to start a sort of like mini season next week. So it's a great time to jump in if you haven't seen us before. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to the Five Rings game on Bob's channel that'll be happening not this Saturday, but this following Saturday. So see you guys there.
Very nice. And up next, last but certainly not least, Zach, why don't you give us your outro?
Yeah, I'll keep mine nice and short and sweet. I played Hasib tonight, and man, I felt like Reese said, all the secrets coming out is you kind of cringe at bits and pieces of it because you're like, oh, this is gonna rock a lot of people's views of X, Y, and Z character. How are they gonna react? But you know, as Hasib would say, we're all one big family, and we're all coming together now, and it's all rainbows and sunshine. I can't wait until we definitely don't get killed by the dozens. So
Absolutely. And I have been Mark, aka the CatsMeow. This is the CatsMeow RPG show. Welcome, and I hope you've enjoyed. A big shout out to Ree for the lovely character art and lovely overlay that we have here. Big thank you for all the lovely work she does for us and the channel. And there was also a you have a Instagram thing.
Yes, it is sorcery.arts. I will
Sorcery.arts.
put it. There you go.
All right. There we go. So yes, please check that out, as well as all the other lovely stuff of the people here will be provided links within the description of the YouTube video. If you're currently watching this on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are currently live here watching us on Twitch or watching the pod later on, make sure to give us a follow. And if you really want to show your support for us, you can also subscribe to the channel. Each bit helps us, allows us to do more fun and wacky stuff within this channel, as well helps to support me and my lovely players, as well as new series that we are currently working on. One is the return of the Isle of Ragnarok, and another is a new project that will be running around the similar time frame to that series, which will be a series to do with the hunters of the world, those that hunt down the dark and horrific creatures of the night, the unholy beings that would see the destruction and or enslavement of humanity's very soul. So you'll have to wait for more information on that, so stick around, check it out, and keep an eye out for new updates. With that, we're gonna raid out to another channel, and we are going to go say hello to the Knights of Silvermore, who are currently playing Savannah by Night, Vampire the Masquerade. So let's go say hi. And with that, thank you for watching. We hope you all continue to have a lovely night. And beware, for there are dark things that crawl in the shadows. And some of them, just some of them, are monstrous enough that you could dare call them fiends. Good night.